Hey, my name is Ben and welcome to the glorious tutorial of the epic Malygos Shaman overview guide video Deluxe. Today I'll teach you the ins and outs of the best deck in the current Hearthstone meta. Second best deck in the current meta. Malygos Shaman is a pretty high skill deck that isn't easy to pilot. It will take some time to get used to. To find lethals there is some basic math required, so unless you skipped school as a 6-year-old you should be fine. Otherwise you have two options. You either go back to school or you play Zulok and go face. Before we get started with the in-depth guide on how to mulligan, how to find lethals and win games, let me explain why this deck is la creme de la creme, the cherry on the pie, the deck that will infuriate every opponent even more than that random MC tech stealing your best minion ever. Malygos Shaman acts as a control deck. It is a 70 damage combo disguised as your boring late game control shaman with no real win condition. It has 5 different AoE clears, single removal spells, draw for days and healing that not even a priest can achieve. So in other words, you have every aggro deck crying at turn 10 when they are so close to lethal, and then you obliterate all their dreams in one simple turn. Against control it's just like playing solitaire. You both do nothing for 20 turns while you slowly gather your lethal pieces like the sneaky boss that you are, and then kabam! You reign supreme. Okay, enough intro. I know the real reason why you guys are here. Sir, what is the combo and how do I kill my opponent? Well, I'm glad you're asking. First of all, there are 6 burn spells. The only 6 spells in the deck that can go smork. Secondly, you have Electra, the double spellcaster, and Eureka, the mana cheat card. Of course, a good OTK deck is nothing without the king himself, Malygos. And last but not least, we have the wild card Tarisan, master of value and creator of combos. There are 3 different lines you can take to OTK your opponent. Line number 1 is to discount a couple combo pieces, obviously. There are as many different possibilities as there are stars in the sky and more. It is up to you to do the math. If you're going for double Malygos using Electra and Eureka, you can either discount Electra and at least 1 burn spell, Eureka and at least 1 burn spell, Electra and Eureka, or at least 2 burn spells. The best discount you can get is still just a discount on your Hearthstone packs. Now the second line you can take is going with just 1 Malygos on the field and spamming everything at your opponent's face. Sometimes you just find lethal when your Eureka or Electra are hiding in the bottom of your deck, as usual. This will require you to use way more spells, so try to discount the Malygos and as many smork spells as possible, depending on your opponent's HP. One thing to keep in mind is if your opponent is a class that does not gain armor, you'll only need to do a maximum of 30 damage, which is very easy to get. The other spells can be used to control the board. Hunter usually doesn't have any healing, so connecting phase with minions can get you earlier lethals as well. The third line is pressing concede when your opponent has double divine spirit and are fire by turn 5. Now that we know how we kill our opponent, let's go over the 3 main matchups. Against aggro you just keep every card that has the word deal damage, draw or doomsayer on it. Except for Earthquake, unless you are a real mad lad. You can use lightning bolts in the early game to remove minions and frost choke to temporarily block damage. Get as greedy with your removal as possible. It is fine to just hero power pass if you're not that on board yet, so your opponent overextends and you can get more value from that skill. This deck has insane heals and compact potential, so it's fine to just tank a bit of damage instead of losing all your removal right away, just like you will lose your ranks. Aggro runs out of tools real quick, so at some point you'll eventually just win, even if you're not actively trying to OTK your opponent. Control matchups are easy peasy lemon squeezy. Try to get as greedy as possible with your hexes, with your Earthshock, and with your removal as well. Hand size often becomes an issue, so be aware of Hagata. Shaman apparently sucks at generating and drawing cards. This deck will convince you otherwise. So the basic takeaway is to just assemble your combo pieces and smack your opponent in the head. Finally, there are also OTK decks such as Mechatoon, Malygos Druid and Holy Wrath Paladin. I'd like to say that your favorite in these matchups as long as Malygos isn't the last card in your deck. Just the flexibility in this OTK makes it much quicker for you to set it up and kill your opponent, while most other OTK decks need to draw their entire deck. Bow to your overlord, the one combo deck to rule them all. All of these decks also don't apply any pressure, so feel free to throw away garbage AoE cards and hex all their draw. And that's it for this glorious tutorial of the epic Malygos Shaman overview guide video Deluxe. now that you wield these forces that are beyond the average power level of this observable meta? Leave your feedback down below. Enjoy.